Okay, in today's session, we are going to discuss about console class and command line arguments. First of all, let us explore what is console class. Okay, suppose you want to input some data from keyboard. How do you input? Similarly, something you want to show on the screen. How you do that? So, for achieving those things, you can use console class. So console class represents keyboard for input and monitor for output. So console class is going to allow us to display the output on the computer's monitor. Similarly, whenever you want to input any data, using console, you can be inputting it. Okay, so whenever we create a CSharp application, see here there is a DLL called as micro lib, MS core lib .dll is available for us. It's called as Microsoft.NET Core library is available. So that is directly available. We need not use any references in this. So whenever you start any application with C#, automatically this MS core lib.dll is available. So it has actually a namespace called as system. In system namespace, you have this particular console class. Console class is a static class. That means what? You need not instantiate that. Static classes cannot be instantiated. Okay, so without declaring a variable for the class, that means without creating an object for the console class, you can manipulate input as well as output. Okay, so a console class is nothing but here static. A static class need not be instantiated. Using class name itself, you can perform various operations. Whatever methods, static methods you have in the console class, you can invoke them without creating object. Straight away by using class name, you can do it. Okay, so here we have console class. The console class has different methods. The methods are like write method, WriteLine method, read method and ReadLine method. These four methods are very important methods. Apart from that, we have number of other things, but as far as console is concerned, first of all we have console.write method. Using write method, you can write something onto the monitor. Normally they are strings. They need to be strings. So if you specify some integer, that gets converted into string automatically by the method here itself. Though you specify some numbers, still they are getting converted to characters and they will be displayed on the screen. Similarly, we have here one more is console.WriteLine. Okay, so console.WriteLine. See, whenever we do something at the command prompt, you get the attention where the cursor is right now with the help of this cursor. Here cursor is blinking. So with the write, what happens? After printing something on the monitor, the cursor remains in the same line. But whenever you use WriteLine, after writing it on the line, it goes into next line. So WriteLine meaning is what? At the end, it's going to be embedding CRLF. CRLF is nothing but a new line. Carry return, line feed, it's called as. As far as Windows is concerned, enter key is nothing but here CRLF. It's a combination of carry return as well as line feed. It's called as CHR13 and CHR10. Together we call it as CRLF. So the WriteLine is going to be embedding a CRLF at the end of the line. So we have two methods. Method is nothing but function. In C language we call it as function, but here we call it as method. Console.write is a method. With the help of that, you can write something on the monitor. Similarly, when you do with the console.WriteLine, you write something on the screen. After that, cursor moves into next line. That is the difference. So otherwise, it's going to be same. With console.write, you can print something on the monitor. Then after that, cursor remains in the same line. But whenever you go with the console.WriteLine, after printing, whatever data you provide, the cursor moves into next line. So that's going to be console.WriteLine. You have console.write, and one more thing is what? Console.WriteLine. These two methods are available. With the help of that, you can output data on the onto the monitor. Similarly, you can read data. For reading data, we require like the methods console.read and one more is console.readLine. These two methods we have, console.read and console.readLine. These two methods are available for us. These are similar to console.write. Okay, so with the help of these, you can be reading data. Different types of data, again, you can read. Console.read, one more thing is console.readLine. But see, whenever you read some data from keyboard, it's always going to be in the string format. Remember that. It's going to be in the string format. To convert that into appropriate data, you need to be using parsing mechanism. There is a method called as parse, followed by like this. We have this way, data type, followed by here we write parse. Okay, then this is xx, like this you are going to have. So with the help of parse xx, you are going to be parsing it. You are going to be parsing data. So just you have parse actually, sorry, no parse xx. So it's going to be parse. So with the help of this, you can be converting string to appropriate data type. For example, you want to convert it to integer. So in such cases, you write int.parse. In the case of float data, you write float.parse. Like that, it's going to be, use it. So with the help of parse, you can convert string data into appropriate type of data. That we are going to be seeing. So you can read data from keyboard with the help of the console.read or with the help of console.readLine. So whenever you read, it's going to be in the string format. Remember that whatever data you enter is going to be in the string format. So later on you need to convert into appropriate types of data. So these are for reading, more than one character. With the help of these more than one character at a time, you can read. Now coming to other thing, suppose you want to read only one character. So for that purpose, you can use actually console.read key. So with the help of the console.read key, you can just read one key. You can be reading here one key here. So this method does not take any argument and it's going to produce a value of type console key info. So what key we press it, you can get with the help of the console key info. To get the value returned by this method, we can declare a console info variable and assign it to the calling of this method. You have one more class called as console key info. So it's, you need to create a variable for that. So with the, whatever value is getting returned from this, you can assign there. So we have here a console key info. With the help of that, you can find out what key is actually pressed. Okay, see, always, here what happens, you may not be having, you may be entering certain control characters, a control key, or sometimes you use shift key, caps lock. Even those are also can be seen with the help of the console key info followed by named key. So here we are going to use console key info class. With the help of that, whatever command we entered, we can get. And apart from this, you have other method like here, one more is going to be console.clear. With the help of this, screen can be cleared. Similarly, you want to move cursor somewhere on the screen. So in such cases, you can move the cursor wherever you require. So console dot, you can put actually cursor left, cursor top. Similarly, console dot, cursor size. Okay, console dot, cursor visible. That means whether you want to show cursor or whether you want to stop, you can use with the help of that. You can perform many things related to console. But these are the important methods: write, WriteLine, read, ReadLine, and read key. So let us look, how these are going to be working. Now let me create here a new project. I call this as console class implementation. I am going to use here console class. The application name is console class implementation. This is going to be a console application. Here one more point I would like to tell you. Suppose you put here XML comments. What is the use of XML comments? See, I put here 3 times slashes like this. So below class, or else you write this class is written to demonstrate console class methods. Okay, we are writing like this. And similarly, I can put here, right, this is main method and starting point of application. Like this, I can here go with the comments. These are called as XML comments. Now when I compile, suppose I want to make some XML document with this, some XML file has to be created. So in such cases, I should go to the build here in the configuration manager, sorry, not in the configuration manager, I come into project. In the project, I go to this and here I can specify. So when you go with the build here, go with the build. So in the build, what type of building you are doing? It can be release or it can be debug. I want to go with the release in this. Now I can be using this as release. Okay, there are many things. I mean later on we discuss about that. But right now I can go with the release. This is one of the, I mean whenever you build application, it can be debug or it can be release. So I am putting it to release. Debug is actually the size of the debug. Release the debug. Build is actually the size is more because it contains debug information. But if it is release, the build is release. So in such cases, it's going to be lightweight. So it does not contain actually debug information. So I'm trying to make here release build. Build meaning is all the source code, whatever you have, you convert into here MSIL code. You're going to convert into MSIL code. So that's why it's going to be there. Lightweight in the case of release build. But if it is debug build, in such cases, it contains debug information. So it's going to be, heavy in size. So here I'm going to use the release build. Then other thing in this, here when we come into this point here, this is going to be application and here we have this information. Okay, as I come down here, I have like this. Okay, then similarly I come to build here. In the case of build also, here the provision I have XML documentation file. I can create here some XML documentation file. This is called as console class implementation.xml. This gets created. So where exactly? In the bin, in the release folder. Whenever you build this application, so in the application, home directory, that means where your application is residing, in the home directory of the application, a folder called bin gets created. Under the bin folder, a folder called release is also available. Under that release folder, you have the assembly. Assembly is nothing but here MSIL code. Your application, when it is built, at that time that's called as assembly. So you have here assembly, built in the release folder. So in the release folder, the assembly file will be available to you, or you can say the exe file is available within the release folder here. In the release folder, you can find application executable file. So along with that, it's going to be it's going to create for us console class implementation.xml. In that, we are going to find the applications documentation. What methods are available in this? What are the classes available? We can find them within the console class implementation. So like that, this is going to be working. So whenever we use comments like this, at the time, the XML file is going to be created. It contains actually the comments related to this particular class. So here you have comment and this is going to be comment. This is called as XML comment. When you put comments like this, it will be useful whenever you want to make any documentation by the experts. So in such cases, they can open just the XML file. With the help of XML file, they can create. Provided that you are putting here XML comments and properly you are filling the stub here. So when you fill properly the stub, at that time what happens? A better documentation is possible. So with the help of these XML comments, you can make documenting easy. So whenever you provide these XML comments, document writers can use these features. With the help of that, quickly they can make the required documentation. So these are called as here XML documents. Now let us look into this part here. So you have seen how I am making it. Here in this build, first of all I am using release, then followed by in the output part is what exactly? bin/release. And here when I check it, XML documentation file, so it is going to be bin, then release, and other thing is what? Console class implementation.xml. Whatever namespace we gave, with that it's creating for us. Now coming to program.cs file, then here we need to write the code. So as I told you, this is available within the MS core lib. So in the MS core lib, the system is available, so we need not specify separately. We need not specify, automatically it's available for us. It is available with the MS core lib.dll. So without referencing them, automatically it's getting created here. Even if you don't put this using system, it's going to be available to you, because that is in the it's BCL, base class library, it's core of the system. So therefore automatically these are available for us. Now let me use here a console class. All these are nothing but predefined libraries. System is a predefined library, then system.collections is a predefined library, system.linq is a predefined library, system.text is a predefined library. So these libraries are automatically getting added for us. If you want to use any particular library or namespace, you need to specify. So when you specify like this, whatever public class are available in the given namespace, automatically they are available. If you don't use here, in such cases, you need to use fully qualified name. We use a term called as fully qualified name. What is fully qualified name? See here. Suppose I want to go with a console class. Here system dot, what I write, console, I can put like this, system.console, then dot WriteLine. When I put like this and followed by here what I write, welcome to CSharp console class. I may write something like this. So when I write something like this, here what I am doing, I am using entire path of the class. First of all I use system followed by console. This is called as here fully qualified name. So what is the root namespace? What is the child namespace? Then after that, what is the class name? When I specify, so that is called as here fully qualified name. When I write something like this, it is called as here fully qualified name. Suppose on the top what I do, I don't put this. Without this also I can write. Console I can write. I go to the top, that what I do here, I can comment. So when I comment, what is happening here? It's showing error. The name console does not exist in the current context, it says. Now suppose you put here system. When you put system, when you put dot, automatically the error disappeared. Now this is called as here fully qualified name. We can call this as here fully qualified name. Okay, so if you don't put here, you need to do with the fully qualified name. But when you uncomment it, at that time what happens? Even if you remove here system, it will not show any error. It's not going to be showing any error. So in such cases, you don't require fully qualified name, because on the top you are using system since you are writing. So without using here system, you can actually use the console. So this way, either you can use fully qualified name or you can be using a simple class name simply. Now console, if you look at this is what type of class? It's a static class. Static classes cannot be instantiated. If you try to instantiate, they cannot be instantiated because the class is a static class. So static classes contain only static methods and static data. Static meaning is, you cannot create for them any objects. Mostly you have in them libraries. Library, functionality is available. So just to use functionality, we can declare them as static. And whenever you don't have any related data, in such cases, you can make the class as static, because data only gives you a state. So when you don't have state, there is no point in creating an object. So therefore, you can declare such classes as static classes. So therefore, here console is also nothing but a static class. Now let me comment this here. I do with the single line comment. Next I come to this, I declare now few variables. Okay, I am going to declare some variable here. Then after that, I try to perform various arithmetic operators on them. See, here in the C sharp, we have different types of operators. Like see, C sharp operators. Okay, so they are going to be first of all arithmetic. So as far as arithmetic operators are concerned, you have here addition, then subtraction, then multiplication, then after that division, and one more thing is remainder. These are the operators available for us. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and percent. But whenever you perform any arithmetic operation, you need to remember one rule here. Suppose I have like this 10 and 20. Okay, it is something like 20 and 10 I take. I am going to be taking 20 and 3 here. I take like this. So when I take 20 and 3, if I try to perform 20 plus 3, this will be 23 you have. Then 20 minus here, 3 is going to be how much? 17 you get. Okay, whenever you try to perform 20, product, if you try to do 20 multiplied with 3 can give you 60 here. Okay, but when you divide here 20 with 3, what is the result you get here? You are going to be getting just 6 only. You cannot get here 6.33, 6 point. So what we get? You get actually 6.66, something like that. You cannot get 6.66, you are going to be getting only 6 there. Because here both the operands are integers, therefore result is going to be integer. This rule you need to remember. Whenever you work with integers, if both operands are integers, the result is also going to be integer always. We need to remember this point. Okay, so whenever the numbers are involved in the arithmetic operations, suppose both of the numbers are integers, then in such cases it's going to be integer. But if any of the numbers is floating point number, result will be floating point number. Now what I do here in such cases, I can take here this result, and with 1.0, if I do this, I can get a value like 6.666 like this. I can be getting it. So like this here, you need to know about the regarding this arithmetic operations, this common this basic rule you need to know. If both the operands are integers, result is always going to be integer. But if any of the operand is floating point data, result is going to be floating point data. Similarly, you have here remainder operation. When you say 20% 3, this can give you here 2 as a remainder. These are the basic arithmetic operators. These are called as here basic arithmetic operators. Similarly, and these follow Bodmas rule. That means what? Brackets has highest importance, then division, after that multiplication, then addition and subtraction, they have the precedence like that. Suppose you put something this way, something like 10 multiplied with 10 plus 2 multiplied with 3. What result do you expect? It's not actually 36, but here result is going to be 60 for you. You get the result as 60. It's not going to be 36. Under normal cases, what we assume? 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 multiplied 3 is going to be 60. But what I have written here? 10 plus 2 multiplied with 3. So 3 takes precedence over plus. Therefore, what happens here? 2 multiplied 3 is going to be 6. Then this is going to be 16. I'm sorry. So this is going to be 16. 2 multiplied with 3 is going to be 6. And 10 plus 6 is going to be 16. But what we are thinking in this? 10 plus here 2 into 3, 6 we are getting. We think that 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 multiplied with 3 is 36. Like that you think. But here result is what exactly? 16 you get. So therefore it follows here Bodmas rule. So brackets of here, then division, multiplication, addition and subtraction, like that it takes. Okay, so these are the various arithmetic operations you can do with the help of the predefined operators. And these operators can be, say, unary, or they can be binary. So sometimes what happens, you may write minus 10. So in such cases you have only one operand called as 10. But sometimes you write here 20 minus 10. So in such cases you have two operands, 20 is one operand, 10 is another operand. This is called as what? Binary operator. So minus you can use as unary or it can be binary. And in the C sharp you have one more type of operator called as ternary operator, which is nothing but a question mark operator we say. For example, you are comparing here 20 greater than 10, you put a question mark here. So this is going to be giving you a true value or false value depending on this. If 20 is greater than 10, in such cases you get true. Okay, it can be taken like this, true it is, otherwise it can be false. So like this you can do, this is called as a ternary operator, because this requires here total 3 parameters. This is 20 greater than 10 is one expression, true is another expression, false is going to be one more expression. This is called as here ternary operator. We even call this as actually conditional operator. So we call even this as a conditional operator or ternary operator. So like this here we have the arithmetic operator, and this is called as here a conditional operator or question mark operator or ternary operator. So you can call, with the question, you can call it as a question mark operator or conditional operator, or it can be a ternary operator, because we are using here 3 arguments. That's why we call it as ternary operator. Now next thing is here relational operators we have. This is what arithmetic operators. Next one is here relational operators. We have here relational operators. These are greater than, then less than, other thing is greater than or equal to, and here less than or equal to, like this we have. These are called as relational operators. We can call them as relational operators. Okay, so they are going to be giving you a true value or a false value depending on the relationship between the two sides of the expression. Suppose you write here 10 greater than 20, this can give you always a true false value, because 10 cannot be greater than 20. So 10 cannot be greater than 20, therefore this gives false value. Similarly, if you write 10 less than 20, this can be giving you here a true value. So like this you can be forming here the relational operations. With the help of that you can be relating the left side term with the right side term. Normally with them they are forming the inequations. You get a true value or you can be getting a false value with the help of the comparison like this. So these are relational operators. Greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to we use. So sometimes what happens, you need to group together things. So in such cases you can use parenthesis. You can be using here parenthesis. For example, in this the result what we are getting 10 plus 2 multiplied with 3 16. What you are assuming exactly? You are first of all adding 10 with 2, then the sum you are going to be multiplying with 3, you are assuming like that. So in the same manner you entered into computer. So at that time result is what you are expecting 36, but you are getting 16 as result. So in such cases you can group it 10 plus 2 followed by multiply the result with 3. What result you get in such cases now? You can get 36. So you can use the grouping operator called as parenthesis. With the help of that you can put together. Okay, so same parenthesis we can use with the functions also. Whenever you are invoking a method or function, even at that time you can be using it. So this is what exactly grouping symbols we can say, or grouping operators. So here left parenthesis and right parenthesis, they are going to group 10 and 2 as 1. So 10 plus 2 is getting performed first, followed by here the 3 will be 3 is going to be multiplied with the sum. So therefore now you get 36, but when you write like this you get only 16. So like this you can use here grouping symbols. Okay, so these are what exactly relational operators. Next set of operators are going to be here logical operators. We have logical operators. It is called as logical AND operator, logical AND. The symbol for that is going to be like this we use, logical AND, then logical AND. Next one is here logical OR operator. Logical OR we say, then we put like this here, 2 pipe symbols. This is called as logical OR. Then other one is here logical NOT. So logical NOT is going to be like this. This is called as a logical NOT operator. So these 3 are the operators: logical AND, logical OR and logical NOT. So these are called as logical operators. So with the help of this you can be forming Boolean expressions. Along with the relational operators you can combine these logical operators. So with that you can form the Boolean expressions. So Boolean expressions, they return a true value or they return a false value. So they return a true value or they return a false value. So these are the logical operators you have. How logical operators work, you might be knowing about it. For example, you have A, you have B, then followed by here A and B, like this. Then A or B you have here. Okay, then followed by one more thing I write, not A, like this you may be having here. So therefore what happens, suppose A is here, so A is true, okay, then followed by B is also true. So in such cases A and B is going to be true there, okay, A or B is also going to be true for us, and here other thing is what, not A becomes false, like this is going to be, not A is going to be becoming false. Similarly, when A is false, B is true, here A and B what it is going to be here false, but A or B is going to be true there, and here not A is going to be becoming true in this. Similarly, now A is true but B is what exactly, false. Now A and B becomes what exactly, it becomes false. Okay, A or B is going to be becoming true in such cases, then here not A becomes what exactly, false. In the third case, in the last case, we use A is also false, B is also false, then here A and B is going to be false, A or B is also going to be false here, here it is going to be true. So this way what happens, when you combine them you can be getting different values. When A is true, B is true, in such cases A and B is going to be true, A or B is also going to be true, but not A is going to be negating A value. Suppose A is false, B is true, A and B is going to be false. But here A or B is going to be true because either A should be true or B should be true. So in such cases it can be true. And here the false is becoming true as far as not A is concerned. In the third case, we have A is true, B is false. So here what is happening, A and B is going to be becoming false because in the case of AND operation, logical AND operation, both the operands must be returning true. Therefore you get true. If any one of the operands is false, it's going to be false. It is something like 1 getting multiplied with 0 or any number getting multiplied with 0, like that you can take. Now in the other case what happens, if you look at the A or B, it's going to be true because it can be either A or it can be B. A is true, B may be false, but result is going to be true for you. Similarly, not A becomes what now, false, because A value is true there. Last one is what, A is false, B is false, A and B is also false, A or B is also false, because neither A is true nor B is true. So therefore this is going to be false, and the not A what it becomes, true it becomes. So like this we use actually the logical operators. We are going to use logical operators in that way. Now let us try to here write a program. So using this we enter marks of a student. Then after that what should happen? It should be, calculating result for us. So with the help of the logical, the conditional operator, we need to do that. Using conditional operator, we are going to do it. Now let us try to do that. Okay, so I am going to do the program here. So first of all, I need to declare, and here I am going to declare first of all name. I can use here string. Later on we discuss much about string, but I am going to create here a string variable. So string variables can be holding readable characters. So once you enter data, you cannot modify that. This becomes what exactly? An object, string object is you're going to create, that becomes immutable. You cannot mute it, you cannot modify that. A read-only string you are going to be forming now. Put it as str name. The variable name is what here? Str name we put. And whenever you create any variable, try to initialize. Since you don't have any data, just write here string.empty. You can make like this. You can make actually an empty string. By using like this string.empty, you can make it. And whenever you are writing some code, try to use here camel case. So if you use camel case, it looks better. It is also proper naming convention. String str name equal to string.empty. Suppose in my case I use camel cases, but wherever you work they may be giving you some guidance, or they may be sharing some document with you what are the naming conventions they are using for their project. Okay, so here I use this convention. Here string str name equal to string dot empty, then I declare here int, followed by I write like this, marks I am going to take now. N I use in the case of integer, or I can write like this simply num, say marks. So num mark 1, similarly num mark 2, similarly one more thing what I do, num mark 3. I can define like this, there are going to be 3 marks, then one more thing is going to be num total I write. Total I am going to initialize with 0, even others also you can initialize with the 0. Okay, you can put 0 here, and here also you can put 0. Then similarly for num mark 3 also is going to be 0. I am going to be entering here 3 different marks. Okay, so first thing what I created string variable called str name. Then I am creating here 3 set of marks. Num mark 1 equal to 0, num mark 2 equal to 0, num mark 3 equal to 0, then num total equal to 0. I have created like this. Fine. Now here I need to read data for the mark 1, mark 2, mark 3. Similarly for name, the data from keyboard I should enter. So therefore let us try to write for that code. Write console dot clear I write. Whatever you have on the screen that you can clear. We are going to clear here whatever you have on the screen. Next thing is what I want to use some different font, different color I want to use. So console dot, here I can write console dot, say forecolor. You have foreground color equal to, you can write it as console color, which is also nothing but a predefined color enumeration. Console color dot, I can go with the green color or red color. Dark red I use in this. I am going to use dark red. Okay, so whatever we enter is going to be, or whatever you show on the screen is going to be the dark red color. Instead of showing in the white color, I am going to show in the dark red. Now here write before okay, here write console dot WriteLine. Console dot WriteLine, here you write it as please enter name. Like this it's going to say, okay, please enter name. So after printing please enter name on the screen, cursor moves into next line. Here because I am using WriteLine, so next what I do, I need to read it. Therefore write here str name equal to, here write this one as console dot. How to read? With the help of ReadLine I can do it. I can use ReadLine. So you can enter line full of data. When you press enter key, that will be saved in the str name. So what I do now here, I am trying to read this way. Next step is what here? Now I want to read numbers also. So therefore next I write console dot WriteLine. Please enter subject 1 marks. Okay, like this I write please enter subject 1 marks. Now here write num mark 1 equal to, whatever you enter from keyboard is going to be the string format. You need to convert that into integer format. How you do that? For example, you work in the C language. When you work in the C language, whatever you enter from keyboard to convert into numeric format, integer format, I think you have used scanf function followed by %d. Using %d, I think if you have done that in the C language. So using %d you can convert. In the case of floating point data, %f you might have used it. If you want to enter string data, %s you have used it. So in the same manner here, you need to convert the string data into numeric format. So therefore here write int dot, here I write parse. I can do with the parse here. Int dot parse I can write, and followed by here you need to input data, because string data you need to give here. Therefore write console dot readline. So whatever data you read, that you are going to give as input to the int.parse. So whatever you enter, it is parsed into integer and it's going to be written there. Similarly, I copy all these in the same manner. I go with this. Okay, please enter subject to marks, and this is going to be num mark 2. I put this way. Okay, in the same manner, please enter subject 3 marks. Now this is going to be num mark 3. We entered here 3 different set of marks. We entered here 3 different set of marks. Now what happens? We need to calculate here total. Similarly, we need to find out the result. We need to find out the result also. So here one more variable we declare. The variable is going to be string, write this str result. Okay, this equal to string dot empty. I initialize like this. I can go with the string dot empty there. So I am reading like this data. After reading data, here now I need to calculate num total equal to, I can calculate them. So how do I calculate? Num mark 1 plus num mark 2, then plus it is going to be num mark 3. I am going to calculate this way here. So the 3 marks I calculated, I am getting here total marks. But now I need to get the result. How I get result? See, str result equal to, I write this way. So what I can do? I can use now the question mark operator here. I can be using question mark operator like this. I can use. So here what I write? I go with the conditional operation here. First one, num mark 1 greater than or equal to, write it as 40. So if it is greater than or equal to 40, therefore we put the result as pass. So else I put this as here fail. Like this I can do this. I can assign a value this way here. In the same way, next thing what I do, str result equal to, once again I put this way here, mark 2 greater than or equal to 40. So in such cases it is going to be pass, otherwise fail. So once again I take here, I can take this one as mark 3, then I can put this as pass or fail. At the end I can show the result. Here right. Now this time result I am going to show in different color. Therefore I want to now use this time white color. So here foreground color, console color dot, here I can specify this as white. I am going to use now white color. With white color I can be printing here. Okay, now here write console dot WriteLine, console dot WriteLine here. Okay, right, has like this ed in the exam. Okay, here we can put like this, total marks equal to, we put here argument 2, like this we can put. So argument 0 is getting repeated 2 times. You can see here and here both times I am using this. So first thing is what? I need to put the str name. Str name is this, followed by here I want to show the result. Then this is what? Str result. Then followed by here I can use other thing is what? Num total. I can use here num total. This way it should be showing data. Now at the end what I should do here? I should be using console dot read key. You can wait for any keyboard key, so therefore use here read key. You can use read key. With this you can be reading data. Okay, So it's going to be waiting for keyboard input. As long as you don't type anything, it does not disappear. The screen is going to be available to you. So now let us run this. But this program is not actually error free. Okay, when you compile at that time, probably it's fine, everything works fine. But whenever you execute at that time, this can throw exceptions. It can throw runtime errors. What are they? We are going to explore. Okay, then how to handle them also, we are going to look into that. But right now, let us try to run this. So this is prone to runtime errors. If any runtime error takes place with this program, this is going to be crashing. Okay, so but let us run this, and where actually the problem you get, let us try to find out. Now first of all, run this here. I enter name, so enter like Mahesh. Okay, then please enter subject 1 marks. I enter some 67. Please enter subject 2 marks. I enter some 89. So next, how much I enter? 90. I enter here. Now when we press here, it says Mahesh has passed in the exam. Mahesh's total marks equal to 246. Like this we are getting it. We got in this way. Whether we are getting fail or not, let us see in this. Now again try to enter. Mahesh it is, followed by here, enter marks as some 34. Then you enter here 100. So once again we enter here 100. What will happen with this C? Mahesh has passed in the exam. Mahesh's total marks are 234. Again it's saying the marks are only 34, but still it's saying it has passed. This is something wrong. Just 1 minute. So there is some problem with this. Okay, so where is the problem? We need to identify. Whenever we have worked with this, it is showing some, it has to give us exactly the fail only. So, but why it is not giving, we need to see in this. We have taken str result equal to num mark 1 greater than or equal to 40, it is pass, otherwise fail we are saying. Similarly, when mark 2 greater than or equal to 40, pass and fail. Similarly, when we try with the third one also, it should give the pass or fail. So the logic is actually wrong in this. This is going to be wrong logic. Due to that, it is happening here. Okay, it's happening because in the first subject, if it is less than 40, so at that time, here it is going to be fail only. But after that, what happens? Next time, if it is actually, say, if it is if it is more than 40, in such case, automatically it makes pass. So therefore, let us try to amend this. Let us try to amend this slightly this way. So try to write this as here, like str result. Okay, str result dot compare to we use here. So we use compare to. This is going to be here compare to pass. Okay, if this equal to 0 and we put like this. So in such cases what happens? It is going to be In such cases, it is going to be here, one more I should use. In such cases, it's going to be pass, otherwise it's going to be fail. So like this, we should use. Okay, the bracket extra is coming here. Okay, so like this, the bracket is coming in the same way. I use this here, and we can compare once again. Logical AND operation also I am using in this. I am using here the logical AND operation. With that, try to do this. So once again here, try to put it. Okay, so now you need to you can get exact result in such cases. You are going to get exact result in such cases. So this way you can write. In the other way also it's possible to write. If you want to write in a different way, in the other way also it can be written. This is one of the ways I am showing you. So this way also you can write, in the other way also it can be written, but here now this time we can get exact result. So name is here, some Sham we enter, followed by I enter some say here some 25 I enter, followed by 99 I enter, then once again I enter 99. The result is what exactly? Sham has failed in the exam. Sham's total marks 223 we got. So once again enter, this time the full marks. Mahesh, followed by here in this, enter the marks as 99, then this is 78, and it's going to be 88. Like this we enter, this time it is saying passed in the exam. So now the logic is correct. It is logically working. This is all fine here. But this is having some problem. The earlier problem was related to logic. Okay, it's called as basically bug. Bug meaning is here, when logic is not correct, you get actually some improper results. We were getting improper results. But I am talking about actually exceptions, runtime errors. So where the runtime error? Let us see in this. Just try to execute. Now here I enter name as Mahesh. Okay, next I try to enter here. Instead of entering a number, I enter some ABC. What will happen with that? ABC can't be converted to number. Therefore, system is going to be crashing in such cases. What happened here? System is crashing. So this is called as here exception. So instead of entering a number, I entered actually alphabets. Alphabets cannot be converted to a number. So because of that, it is showing here some exception. So this is called as here runtime error. We can call this as runtime error, because what I entered from keyboard, if it is containing digits, the digits can be converted to appropriate number. Okay, if the string which is containing only digits, you can convert it to number. But here what is happening? I am entering some ABC. So ABC is nothing but here alphabets. So alphabets you cannot convert into number. If you try to convert alphabets into number, it cannot perform that. So it is nothing but exception. We call this as here exception. So this was throwing some error for us. Now try to use this with the try catch block. So to handle exceptions, what we do is we go with the try catch block. Now here do this way. You can go with the try, then followed by here you can use some catch block. You can use here some catch block. With the help of catch block you can be handling it. So here after this you can put here, go with the catch, then this is here exception EX. This is going to be exception EX. What is the cause of exception also you can find out here. So why it was failing you can find out here with this. Write it system dot out dot, sorry, it is going to be console dot WriteLine. It's going to be console dot WriteLine, then here EX dot message. So what is the reason you can find there. So this way now you can handle in the better way the code. This time the system will not crash. System is not going to be crashing. If you don't enter proper data, it gives a message, then after that safely you can come out from the application. Now execute it. I enter this time as Mahesh, followed by I enter some 78, then 56. For third one I enter ABC, I press enter key. It says input string was not in a correct format. So therefore it cannot continue. It's not going to be continuing. Similarly, here I go with this. Again I enter Mahesh. Okay, then I enter a big number, like very big number I am going to enter. This can't be fitting in an integer. When you press enter key, it says value was either too large or too small for an int 32. So therefore, since it can't be accommodated in the integer, it's giving this kind of error. So these are called as runtime errors. Runtime errors you can handle with the help of the try catch block. So whatever code you are trying to execute, you put in the try block, then whenever it can't execute that piece of code, you can catch it. What is the error? You can find out with the help of the catch block here. So like this, you can use the try catch blocks. So try catch blocks are basically meant for we try to execute some piece of code. Due to some reason, if the code cannot be executed, you can find what is the reason. You can catch the exception. What caused actually the code, not to execute. So that you can find out with the help of the catch block. So this is what exactly try catch block. With the help of try catch block, you can handle this. You can handle with the help of the try catch block. So what I have done in this, I have entered mark 1, then mark 2, mark 3, and one more thing is what I am calculating here result using here. I am calculating result using a question mark operator. So with the help of question mark operator, I am calculating this. I am finding out the result. So in the first case, what I have written, num mark 1 greater than or equal to 40, store pass in the result, str result, otherwise store fail. In the next time, what I do here, str result dot compare pass equal to 0. Then after that, we compare like this, mark 2 greater than or equal to 40. So here when both the conditions are met, in such cases pass, otherwise it's going to be fail. Even in the last case also we do same thing. What we do in the last case, we compare like this, str result equal to str result dot compare pass equal to 0, and mark 3 greater than or equal to 40. In such cases, make it pass, otherwise make it fail. So like this, I am finding out the result here. So result can be pass or fail depending on the marks we entered. So using conditional operator and using arithmetic operators, we could do this particular thing. So this is what exactly, it is a console application. We enter data from keyboard. We are reading here string data. Similarly, we are reading numeric data also here. From keyboard, even we read the numeric data. So once we read data, we are assigning to variables. Num mark 1, num mark 2, num mark 3, then num total we are calculating here, and we are finding out here result. At the end, we are printing this information here. And one more thing, what we have done in this, at the bottom, we are using console.read key. That means as long as you don't press keyboard key, the program is going to be still running, but when you press any keyboard key, you come out from that. Okay, similarly, we are changing here the color for the console. So we are using here console.foreground color equal to console color dot dark red. Now console color is going to be, forecolor is going to be dark red, like that we got. Similarly, we have here console color. So console color is here clear, sorry, console we are going to clear. That means what? It is going to be totally getting cleared. Whatever content you had on that, you can remove that. Now let us try to change this into background color, some green. Let us try to put console dot, this is background color. We use here this equal to console color, then dot, it is here green. We try to put here green color. So how this looks, see now. So please enter name. It's going to be Smith. I enter. Okay, please enter marks 1, 45, then 67 and 56. Smith has passed in the exam. Smith's total marks 168. Like this, it is showing you. You are going to get data. You are going to change the screen. At the same time, the result you are getting it as pass. So forecolor, background color, both we are changing here. With the help of the background color, you change background of the, whatever text you are displaying. Similarly, with the help of the forecolor, you are going to be changing the, character colors here. So like this, you can use the console class. So using console class, we are doing it here. And using console.readLine, you can read a line of data. When you press enter key, after typing some characters, it goes into here str name. Similarly, we are entering data like string but converting into number mark 1. Similarly, you enter data for the second time also, that data we are converting into num mark 2. Similarly, third date also we enter, it goes into num mark 3. So like this here, num total equal to num mark 1 plus num mark 2 plus num mark 3. Like this, when you are adding, you are getting total here. So this way the application is working for us. This is a console application. Here we use the console class. With the help of that, we enter data, we convert into numbers also. Now one more program what I do, I am going to show you, that is called as a command line application. So in the command line application, from command prompt you are going to be executing it. Let us try to create here one more class, even that is going to be containing a main method for us. Now I am going to show you more than one class which contains main method. Let me create here one more class in this. So for that, I go to view, then I click on the solution explorer. In the right side I can get this way, and I can click on this, then I can add a new class. It's going to be add followed by new class I create. Class 1.cs we have here. For this we put a name. This is what? Command line class. The class name is also going to be command line. Okay, click on add. Class name is going to be command line here. We try to do now, we are trying to make here a command line application. This should be containing a main method like this. Here we have a main method. In the same way, we need to have a main method also in this. So this main method is using here args as an argument. Okay, so this is going to be a string argument. It's going to be string array argument. Now I want to actually, from the command prompt, I would like to enter say 2 numbers, and I want to use some arithmetic operation symbol. So based on that, it should be calculating. Suppose I write 2 plus 3, it should give 5. If I write 2 multiplied with 3, it should give 6. So that way it should work for me. Now here write this way. First of all, I need to see their number of arguments. If args dot length, we have a length property. With the help of that you can find out how many arguments we have passed. Less than 3, we put like here console dot WriteLine. We write console dot WriteLine. Then what we do here, console dot WriteLine, too few arguments. Okay, too few arguments. Like this we put. Too few arguments we put like this. Else we write like this, args dot length. If it is greater than 3, in such cases we write, so length greater than 3, console dot WriteLine, put it as too many arguments. Too many arguments we write this way. Otherwise, so what we do, otherwise it's going to be else part. Okay, sorry, here I don't use an if condition. First of all, declare like this, int n args. Okay, otherwise I write here bool, a data type I am using here. Okay, this is going to be is required args available. Like this I can write a variable, followed by here I write this way. I can use a conditional operator args dot length. Okay, args dot length, if this equal to 3, so in such cases put a question mark, then write it as true here, otherwise write this as false. Like this we can get the value. We are going to get value this way. Whenever it has 3 number of arguments, it's going to be like this. Okay, so it's going to be this way we write. So next step in this, whenever its number of arguments 3, in such cases we should do, otherwise we should not do anything there. So number of arguments for 3 we require here, but when it's not whenever it is less than 3 or greater than 3, it should be going away. Okay. Here write console dot WriteLine, put like this. Console dot WriteLine, we limit functionality to this much only. Console dot WriteLine, we are not going to do an arithmetic operation because limitations we have here. So without if condition you cannot do certain things. Now console dot WriteLine, then here, so in such cases what I do, I can write this way, console dot WriteLine, here write is required args available equal to true. So in such cases here write exactly 3 arguments are passed. Otherwise we need to write here either too many, too few, or too many arguments are passed. So like this we can actually print it. This way it's going to show us. This is called as here a command line application. Along with this application we need to specify here exactly 3 arguments. They can be anything. They can be numbers, they can be strings, whatever you would like to have you can have. So here I am going to show just this information. If you are passing 3 arguments, it exactly says that exactly 3 arguments are passed. Otherwise either too few arguments, either too few or too many arguments are passed like this. This message is going to be given here. Okay, so let us try to execute this. But since you have main method in more than one class, what happens? You need to go to, you need to go to here project. In the project we need to set. Now here if you go to application, it says there is no startup object. Go to this, then here you can see there are 2 classes available. First one is what? Program. Second one is command line. Now choose command line this time. You can choose command line this time because prior to this it was only program. Since there was only class with the main method, automatically it was taking. But now you have one more class. Even in that also you have a command line application. So the main method. So therefore now you need to choose this. We have chosen this here. We have chosen this. Then we go to the build. After that what we do? We come to the command line CS. Then try to build it. So just clean solution. After that build the solution. Now solution is built here. But where this is available? It's available with the console class implementation. Project name is what exactly? Console class implementation. Therefore go to D drive. So in the D drive with your name it is available. Okay. So console class implementation, open this, go to the bin folder. So in the bin folder and the release folder you don't have anything. In the debug folder you have something like this. Console class implementation you have. Now let us try to execute it. We execute this particular thing, but for that first of all you need to move into the concerned folder from command prompt. We put here cmd, then this is going to be D drive like this. Here put cd, then change into concerned directory. Click on edit, then paste it. So we go into this one. We have gone into this. You need to execute this. You have to execute the console class implementation. Just type here. So what I type? Console class implementation. Followed by I enter here some 12 and 34. What it says here? Either too few or too many arguments are passed. So like this, when you pass from command prompt, it's called as a command line arguments. If I give 67, it says exactly 3 arguments are passed. So like this you can be invoking command line, you are going to pass command line arguments. From command prompt you can be executing the application. So that's why these applications are called as console applications. So these 12, 34, 67 we are getting from the ARGS. So from args string array we are getting, and in this what we passed exactly, I have passed here the first one is 12, ARGS of 0 is going to be 12, and ARGS of 1 is going to be 34, ARGS of 2 is going to be 67, total number of arguments are going to be 3 in this. When we passed here 3 arguments, it says that exactly 3 arguments are passed. Otherwise it says too few arguments or too many arguments. So like this program is working for us.